Hey everybody, Brandon Kaywell here, Principal at Advisor Growth Strategies with the final installment of the 20 for 20, 20 things advisor growth learned or validated in the year 2020. We've covered everything from macro trends in the space, consolidation or concentration as we like to call it, looking at compensation and equity. Spent the last two episodes really going through M&A and some of the underlying dynamics we're seeing there. And to wrap up this series, we really want to talk about a couple of things that have been trends for a long time that we learned some new things about in 2020. The first is going to be talent. And I touched on talent before, but really looking at underlying what's the next generation looking for and how is the industry addressing it? What do we learn in 2020 that teaches us something for 21 and going forward? The second is going to be internal succession related to talent, related to the next generation, really looking at what did 2020 teach us about the pressures around internal succession and how is the M&A, the competitive market and M&A market environment, accelerating and putting pressure on the internal succession planning process. And then the last is going to be a bit of an outlook strategically, what we learned about this year that really taught us that the upside is there for the independent wealth management space in 21 and beyond, but why the demographics and all the things we've talked about, the complexion of the space has changed in such a way that a more proactive approach is going to be required to compete. So the first is talent. So looking at talent for several years, we've looked at next generation. What do they want? We talked to a lot of people throughout the year, and I think what 2020 it really taught us about the next generation of talent is that your next generation of talent is looking to step up, is looking to have influence in your business and really looking to make a meaningful impact. And so a lot of times we talk about compensation, we do this for a living, we build compensation plans, but the motivations for the next generation of talent are beyond that. And I think 2020 really validated that. In a year of significant disruption, your most talented people likely stepped up in a big way that you may have not anticipated. And if they didn't, the question is how activated and how engaged are they in the business? Is there something you could be doing about it? We really learned in 2020 as well that your next generation might have a better pulse on technology, a better pulse on adaptation in a year of disruption, and really can provide some valuable things for the businesses going forward. And you have to engage the next generation early and often because what are they looking for? First and foremost, growth. Looking not growth in revenue, but looking at growth in their career, development, learning, progressing, all those things that really help take them to the next level and benefit your business if activated in the right way. So going forward, talent is going to continue to be a huge theme. Acquirers are looking for talent and deals. People are looking to hire talented people to try to get them activated. So role progression, career progression, and then you look at the incentive structure. That's going to be the key to success, and I think 2020 really validated that for us because you can get people to do big things for you if they're activated the right way. The second is internal succession related to talent. I think what we learned in 2020 is some of the dynamics in the industry, such as the M&A environment, strong valuations, the capital chasing the space, have really put a lot of pressure on owners to really clarify what their succession strategy is. Because it's all about the best alternative to, or a BATNA, if you will, to progress your business. So what we learned in 2020 is that if you want to build a 50, 100-year firm, you're going to really have to put in the groundwork early and often with your next generation of talent, next generation of leadership and management, and really also with your own planning to really put the firm in a great place from the platform, people, and process, really looking at how that all comes together over a long duration and really be committed to that, because what we're seeing in the external market is that you can get your money faster, you can get it more efficiently, but you sacrifice things that may, to an entrepreneur, maybe things you don't want to sacrifice. The other thing is that with valuations, and there's a practical implication that is developing in the space where you look at internal succession, there's a certain point in size, you look at firms getting bigger and bigger in the space, and having more and more free cash flow, more and more revenues, all the things that we like to talk about in the transaction advisory world. What you're really looking at, there's a point where internal succession becomes impractical. It becomes very difficult to do. So when we say plan early, it's not just because something might happen. It's because we know if you have enough success, it may become the feasibility of internal succession may go way down. So something to think about. This could be a big theme going forward with 2/3 of the industry looking to retire. over the next 10 years or so, according to Cerulli. So it's going to be a big theme that's going to dictate a lot of the competitive dynamics in the space, again, with that concentration theme in mind. The last thing I'll want to touch on is that, it's largely a good news story. We learned a lot about the space, we validated a lot about the space, but what's most important is what we learned about the independent wealth market. We're very fortunate to be in and around the RA community, the wealth management community. This year has been largely really, really good from a business perspective. Things bounce back and there's been a lot of success here. As I mentioned, capital's chasing the space more than ever, than even before when this has been discussed. That's not new, but the acceleration is new because all eyes are on the wealth management space. This is where the action's been happening, and it's certainly been a good industry to be in 2020. So what we really learned is that, to me, that says the upside's still there. You have a lot of amazing opportunities available. There are a lot of upside potential, and really a lot of firms that are out there can have whatever success they want. However, the competitive dynamics have changed. So really the proactive approach to business planning, compensation, equity, succession, M&A, really being more purpose-driven about what segments you want to address in the space is more important now than perhaps ever before, because this industry is accelerating quickly and there's a lot of external forces, a lot of external options that and providers out there looking to be a part of it. But I think with all that being said, really 2020 taught us that we all hope for a better environment, when it comes to the pandemic and some of the social issues we've dealt with this year. We hope to see progress in the coming year, coming years. But for this industry, there is a ton of upside that's out there. And what I would encourage anybody who's listening to do is really take that seriously. No better time than now to plan for that. How are you going to address it? How are you going to attack it? And how do you want to position your firm for future success? Again, there is no prescriptive way to be successful in this business. We're firm believers in that. Every firm has a different identity and DNA. However, pay attention to the industry dynamics around you, because it will put pressure on how you compete going forward. So happy New Year, everybody. Thanks for tuning in this video series. Looking forward to what 2021 brings and all the shared success we can have together. Thanks.